Okay, hello, hi. If you're watching on the replay, hi. We're back at it. I'm making the recipe I made yesterday again to make more because I think these are going to be very popular when I give them away. Oh gosh, I'm not wearing any makeup, so I look a little tired, but that's okay because we're here to bake and hang. We're not here to podcast. Podcasting is where I put all the quiche on. Here you see me nice and just down home. My at-home version, what I can do is get some lights. Let's get some lighting. Let's get some lights. Let's get a little bit of light. A little bit of light never hurt anybody. There we go. There we go. A little bit of light. Okay, so first we're going to combine our sugars. We have baker's sugar. It's supposed to be granulated sugar, but all I have right now is baker's sugar, which is granulated sugar, just a little bit finer, but it's fine. It's still white sugar. It's just a little bit of a finer granule. So we're gonna put our white sugar in. And, ooh, and the dishwasher is empty, so everything can go straight into the dishwasher. Then we're gonna take our brown sugar. I see some of it stuck on the side, so I'm gonna scrape that down now. Brown sugar. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. Brown sugar, babe. I guess high off your love. I don't know how to behave. And then yesterday's batch, I tried it and I wanted it to have a little bit more espresso forward flavor. So today we're bumping up our espresso from half a teaspoon to 1 full teaspoon. And I'm going to take half of this now and we're going to bloom it in our melted butter. And what that does is that the fat and the little bit of heat is helping kind of like open up our espresso so that it comes a little bit more forward flavor-wise, because I want them to be chocolate chia espresso brownie bites. I want them to feel special. They're not just brownie bites. Because Low Batch Company don't do anything just. We do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I mixed half of that espresso powder into our melted butter. So now I'm going to pour this in, and I'm going to get my little tiny spatula and make sure that we scrape all that yummy espresso in there. And the butter, obviously, but I care more about all that espresso. If it was just butter, I wouldn't be scraping the bowl so much. Okay, beautiful. So we have our butter, and half of our 1 teaspoon of espresso powder is in the bowl. Now we're gonna take our paddle attachment. Let me do my beauty influencer. It's bigger than my hand. So we're gonna take our paddle attachment and we're gonna put it on. And let's see, I want you to be able to see. There we go, you can see there. Lower this a little bit. Let's angle this way. Cute. And feel free to say hi in the chat if you want to. Okay, so we're gonna lower our neck of our mixer. And we're going to whisk for 1 full minute until it looks glossy. So let me put a minute. Let me start this. A minute on the clock. And now we're going to add eggs and vanilla after that. So we have our eggs and vanilla right here. Look at that. I did that by accident, actually. So, right, you can kind of see it peeking through. We have 2 eggs that have been brought to room temperature. And we have some vanilla bean paste. Now, as you can see a little bit in there. It is It smells so good. I can smell that espresso in that butter. So yummy. 10 seconds. Five seconds. 2, 1. Okay. Okay. So now, up our neck again. We have 1 eggie. Put that in. Again, I'm so happy my dishwasher is empty because everything is going to go straight into the dishwasher. 2. And we're baking. Oh. I'm going to go live twice today for baking. I'm making another batch of brownie bites now. And then later today, so make sure to subscribe if you want to come back later. Later on today, and this is all for a pop-up. So I have a pop-up event tomorrow that I'm prepping for. So I'm doing a flurry of baking to prep for this pop-up event. Say that 5 times. So later on today, I'm going to be making mini apple chai protein muffins. So stay tuned for that. That'll be our little experiment later today. It's my first time I'm making it, but I'm very excited. I went to the grocery store early this morning to get fresh apples. Okay, so we're gonna, wait, we need our vanilla bean paste. Oops. Get that in there. Great. Beautiful. Oh, put that in the dishwasher. Okay, lower this down. And now we're going to mix here until thick and smooth. So that's a visual cue. So now, prep for this. Not getting until thick and smooth. Well, I think we're there. Okay, so now let's take our pattern out. Let's push this out of the way. Let's take this. So you want to scrape down the sides of your bowl and make sure everything is getting mixed in correctly and everything's getting incorporated. So we're going to give that one more mix with our spatula. Now we're looking thick and smooth, like me. Ooh, thick and smooth like me. I should put that on a t-shirt. Thick and smooth, like me. Okay, so we have thick and smooth, like me. Okay, so now we're gonna put our little spatula aside. And next, this should be dry, but let's make sure. I have my sifter. And now, our flour, cocoa, and salt. So we have 2 types of flour. We have all-purpose flour, King Arthur all-purpose flour. Goes in. We also have King Arthur oat flour. We have La Bayenne sea salt. And we have Guitard baking Dutch cocoa. Guitard. And I like to, because I'm able to, and I'm privileged enough, I also look out for sales and I try to stock up on things. So, for example, I love Kerrygold butter. And I'm actually running low on my stash, so I need to be on the lookout. Actually, I should check Costco and see if they're in stock there. But check Costco, get your Kerrygold in bulk whenever you can. I like to get the blocks of 4 sticks at a time. Ghirardelli chocolate, Gitao's chocolate, King Arthur flour. It just all makes a difference, especially when you have, you know, your final product is something that has limited ingredients. The less ingredients, the more you really want to, if you can, right? Again, it's a privilege in this economy especially, but if you can, take the time, take the extra little few cents, extra few little dollars, and get the good ingredients because it makes a difference. Okay, so now we're gonna take, this is when I get to get my aggression out. So we're gonna tap, 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 and scrape, 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 and tap, 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 and scrape, scrape, scrape. Tap, tap, tap. I think there was a little wet spot in there. And scrape, scrape, scrape. I mean, tap, tap, tap. Scrape, scrape, scrape. You get more when you scrape, but it also gets tiring. But it does go faster when you scrape. It's just not as satisfying. I find the tapping satisfying. Because then you get like the little snow kind of sprinkle. But if you're in a hurry, right now we're trying to work with purpose. We're not necessarily in a hurry, but we want to work with purpose. We're just going to keep scraping because that works the fastest. Now we're down to like salt. Which is always the most stubborn. Get in there, salt. Okay. Come on. Get in there. You got it. And just like that. Okay. We're gonna toss that. And like that, we've sifted our dry ingredients. So now, we're going to put that away. Put that away. I like to clean as I go because then it feels less chaotic when you're done. Because it can feel very chaotic to bake if you don't clean as you go. Okay, so we have sprinkled on top our 2 flours, our cocoa and our salt. Now I'm gonna fold it gently with it's like a whisk, but kind of like a spatula. It's like a flat whisk. So it'll be scrape and mix, scrape and mix is what we're doing. And again, feel free to say hi in the chat if you want to. We want to be careful because we don't want to overmix, but we also want to make sure everything's incorporated. Now, it's getting pretty mixed, and we still have a couple more things to mix in, so I'm going to stop mixing, and we're going to put in. So, there's a couple of things. So I'm doing a small change, a couple of changes from yesterday's recipe. So A, we're bumping up our espresso, and B, I'm adding a tiny bit of oil because my texture from yesterday's batch, it was delicious and it was very brownie-like, but they're bites and they were very soft. I love the soft, but I want a little bit of that like crinkly edge brownie, like the corner of the brownie. So I want a little bit of that crinkly edge. So today we're also adding a tiny bit of vegetable oil, and the second bit of our espresso is now blooming in our oil. So now we're gonna drop this in to our batter. We also, I love chia seeds. I love baking with chia any chance I get. It's like a fun way to sneak in protein and fiber and just good micronutrients for you, yummy gut things. I try to make my baked goods to whenever possible. The pound cake that I made is just pure rich pound cake yummy goodness. But these little brownie bites, I'm trying to make them have a little goodness in them. So we're gonna throw in our chia seeds. And we have, oh my God, let me use both hands. Yeesh. Thankfully, that wasn't too bad. And now we have mini chips. We have 60 grams of mini chips. Put that in. And now all of this needs to get folded into our batter. And sorry, I'm also, like I said, cleaning as I go. Cleaning as I go. Because that's how I can help my neurospicy brain not get too overwhelmed. Cleaning as I go. Okay, so we've dumped in our little bit of vegetable oil with the last bit of our espresso powder. Again, espresso is also another thing that whenever you're baking with chocolate, with cocoa, espresso really helps bring out that chocolate note forward. And also I just think they're like complementary flavors. So we're gonna now, again, scrape the sides, mix, scrape the sides, mix, scrape the sides, mix. And we wanna make sure that we're incorporating all this yummy chia and mini chips evenly into the batter. Okay, so now we have a beautifully mixed batter. And now we have our mini tins. And then I also have 24 regular sized milk chocolate chips that are gonna get put on top of each one after we put our batter in. Although, you know what? They sunk in. They didn't stay at the top. So now I want to try something new. Actually, we're gonna put these at the bottom now and see what that does. We're gonna experiment. So now we're putting one milk chocolate chip at the bottom of our brownie bites. And it'll just have that little bit of like that tiny gooey bite in the middle. Hello, I subscribed with your channel. Your way of talking is so relaxing. Oh, thank you. Gracias. Merci beaucoup. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, if you like that, I have a podcast too. It's called Series of Fortunate Events, or Sophie, S-O-F-E. You can also find it on this channel. And right now I'm prepping for a pop-up for my new creative project called The Whisper Lounge, where your secrets are safe with Mimi. I created a portal where people can submit secrets anonymously, but I decided to make it an in-person pop-up experience. So tomorrow at the Uptown Stroll in Oakland, downtown Oakland, tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'll be a part of Fluid 510s, my former sponsor. I used to record the podcast over at Fluid 510. I'm going to be part of their collective, and Whisper Lounge X Mimi Makes Bakes, aka Little Batch Company, my micro bakery that I'm slowly building out. We're going to be on site trading treats for secrets or gossip. I'll take a secret or a gossip. And so that's what we're baking for today. Okay, so catch my breath. I'm going to catch my breath. Here, while I catch my breath, I'll show you. So you can either get a treat or a sticker tomorrow, although this is a magnet. But so this is the project that I've been creating and thinking about since last year, actually. And I finally had an aha moment to make it an in-person pop-up experience. And we'll see if it works, which I think it will. I will probably take it on the road with me and show up wherever I can get myself. And we'll bring the Whisper Lounge to who knows where. I mean, I'm going to Puerto Rico in January, so maybe we'll bring the Whisper Lounge to Puerto Rico. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pitch it to the hotel I'm staying at. Maybe they'll let me do that. Ooh, you guys, thanks. We're having a production meeting right now. What do you think if you were, and that's the other thing, especially because set it up like during happy hour after people have had a couple drinks in them, the sun is setting, they can just saddle up to the microphone, tell me their little secrets. I think I actually am going to pitch it to the hotel that I'm staying at. I am. Well, now, actually, well, this is great because from now to then, I get to do proof of concept. So tomorrow is going to be the beta test of the Whisper Lounge in-person pop-up experience. I'm also thinking it's about to start raining soon, but we still have a little bit of nice weather. So maybe while we have nice weather, I might pick different parks in the Bay Area. Like I can go to Golden Gate Park, I can go to Lake Merritt, and just find a spot out in the public and set up my little spot. Because what it is I'm gonna have like an inflatable chair, a little blanket, and it'll be cozy, and I'll have masks so that you can put a mask on, or if you want to turn your back and have your back face the camera. And yeah, it's like confession meets voyeurism meets therapy, right? So that's the idea of the Whisper Lounge. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And out of the merch that I made this year, because I also have that print on t-shirts, it's one of the more popular ones. People love picking that Whisper Lounge t-shirt when I offer them merch. I like to give my guests merch as a thank you because I like to thank people for their time. I also pay my guests because I value people's talents. So, anywho, I'm rambling now. But I say all that to say that Dreams, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate the support. I'm just out here trying to bring you some cozy, you know, some coziness in the world. It's wild out here. I hear my other phone pinging, so I'm gonna go grab it. See who's beeping and bopping. Who's beeping and bopping? Who's beeping and bopping? Nothing I need to pay attention to. Okay, so here, can you guys see? No, I'm blocking the view. Okay, so what I'm doing now, let me actually start talking about what I'm doing instead of just yapping. What I'm doing now is I have a cookie scoop. There's 3 sizes from this Gorilla Grip scoop. This is the medium-sized one. I can't remember what measurement it is. It doesn't say, but I know that there's like a large one, a medium one, and a small one. I have all 3. This is the medium-sized one. So I think it's like a tablespoon. Not sure. But the medium-sized Gorilla Grip cookie scoop is what I'm using right now. And I like to use a cookie scoop because when you make things in batches and you're trying to replicate a recipe, you know, unless I want to sit here and weigh them out on the scale, which is something you can do. And if I was doing full-size cupcakes, I actually probably would weigh each out because then you really do get consistency across them. But that's what we're aiming for right now, is consistency and being able to replicate a recipe with, as I said, consistency. So we keep filling up our little cookie scoop, but it does overflow. And so I like to let the overflow kind of fall back into the bowl. And it is a little bit of a thick batter, like me. So, and then that chia seed gives it a little bit more viscosity as it hydrates in the batter. So that gooey kind of like, almost like cheese pull viscosity. Some of that's from the chia. But it's good for you. It's good for your belly. It's good for your tum-tum. All right, so we keep scooping. And we keep scooping. Scoop. Take excess off. Come on, a little bit more. There we go. Scoop. I'm trying to be careful and gentle because I don't want it to be messy. You can end up with like entrails of brownie bits in between your little tins, and that's just wasting. Just wasting product at that point. We don't want to do that. We pay good money for our ingredients. Get that in there. A cookie scoop. Cookie scoop. Cookie scoop. Ooh, so we're in the middle of October, which means November's around the corner, which means December is around the corner. And I was debating, I've never done vlogs. Like I've done mini vlogs traveling, but I'm not like a vlog person. And I know Vlogmas is like a thing in December. And so I was like, well, do I do Vlogmas for the first time? But like, if I've never vlogged before, that's kind of insane to start vlogging during a time that like maximum output is expected of you. So what I was thinking was taking Vlogmas, but flipping the script, making it more me, and calling it Bakemas. And instead of vlogging every day, I would go either live and bake or put out some kind of baking content every day in December. And I would call it Bakemas. And we would theme each week. So like 1 week could be like International Week, and we can like do recipes from different parts of the world that are like celebratory for the holidays. We can do like Sweet and Savory Week. We can do different things. I already started planning out some ideas, but the only way I know I'm going to be able to like properly execute something like that is if I start planning now, so that I can really lay out a proper production schedule and not burn myself out or get too overwhelmed. But what do you guys think? Do you think that would be a fun idea for the holidays to do Bakemas instead of Vlogmas? Hi, Bella. Oh, hi, Neil. Oh my gosh, hi. I didn't see you there. Hi, Neil. Okay, so we have our tray of I'll be getting Bakedmas. Yes. You know what? Yeah. You know, exactly. You know. Okay, so we have our little babies. And then yesterday, I ended up with a little bit left over, and we tried to make brownie brittle. It ended up just being a giant brownie cookie. But now, oh, thank you. Yeah, today, I'm going to be back later, but right now it's a short little live, making another batch of brownie bites with our leftover brownie batter, trying to make brownie brittle, but all it really did was make a giant brownie cookie. So we're going to try it again because I think I just didn't bake it long enough. But we're going to try to make brownie brittle again from what's left in our bowl because no yummy goodness gets left behind. Okay, so now take this. We're going to try to spread this as thin as we can, so it's less cookie, more brittle. Less cookie, more brittle. So I think as much as I can. We need to get it as thin as possible, I think is the goal. To get that like brittle, thin crunch experience. Because if this can become proper brownie brittle, then I think it'd be cute to break it up into little pieces and put it on top of our brownie bites, right? Like, wouldn't that be cute? This is definitely way more spread out than yesterday. Yesterday, it was definitely just a giant cookie. I've only made brownie brittle accidentally. I feel like that sounds like you probably got baked and forgot to get the brownie out. Okay, let me check our oven temperature. We have our little thermometer inside, and it's showing a tiny bit off, but it's also a little bit forward. So let's push that back. Let's give it another minute. Let's bump this up 5 degrees. And so now we have our brownie bites that are going to go into the oven and too much oil. Yeah, so that's part of what we're doing today. Yesterday's batch didn't have any oil in it. It only had butter. Today it has a tiny bit of oil in it because I want more of that crunchy edge for my bites. Because yesterday's batch came out delicious and a great texture, but it was very soft from edge to edge. And I want a little bit of that, like, you know, corner brownie, like that corner, you know, that little burnt edge. Okay, so we're gonna give the oven 2 seconds, a minute to get up to 350. It's at 345 right now. And since this is not a cake, and we do want that little kind of crunchy edge, we're not going for low and slow. So we do want our temperature to be correct. So I'm doing a little bit of just rinsing of my dishes before we put them into the dishwasher, so that we can help out our old dishwasher friend. And that gives the oven time to come up to temperature. And now let's check on our oven. Why is it going down? We don't want it going down. We want it going up. Wrong direction. Okay. So now I think we're almost ready to put things into the oven. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, Namuri Teju Gaming. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by to say hi. I use coconut oil as butter alternative, and it works well for that. I like using coconut oil too, Neil, but do you find that it leaves like a coconut aftertaste, or am I using the wrong one? Like, I love cooking and baking with coconut oil, but then I find that like it ends up tasting like coconut. And that's not wrong if, like, it's not bad if you want, like, if your, you know, goal is something that has coconut flavor. Let's check our oven. It's coming to temperature. I don't know what happened. It said it was at 350. I tried to bump it to 355, and then it suddenly decided to go down to 330. This is why I try to put it actually more than it's supposed to be. so that it's there and it's easier to bring it down. But that's okay. It's okay. We're fine. We're doing okay. No, it's coconut oil. It's coconut all the time. That works for me. Right? Exactly. You end up with like um chocolate chia coconut brownie, mango banana coconut smoothie, strawberry blueberry coconut muffin. All right, let's check our oven. Okay, great. It's coming to temperature, so let's just pop these in because I don't want to waste any more time. So let's put our brittle on our wannabe brittle, our brittle experiment on our bottom tray, and then we're gonna put our baby bites on our top tray, and we're gonna set our timer for 17 minutes. And that should, yesterday I pulled out what ended up being the giant brownie cookie at 10 minutes, and it ended up being a giant brownie cookie. So I think what I'm going to do, oh, I have an alarm that's going to go off in 16 minutes for something else. But that's 16 out of 17. I should set another one for, maybe we should check it at 13 minutes just in case. We'll check the brittle. Okay, so I am going to log on back to work because this was me technically taking a little work break to log on and go live. Olive oil is also good, but it's again hard to get away from the olive oil flavor. Exactly. I think avocado is the most neutral but expensive. Yeah, I like using avocado oil too. Yes, it's expensive. And then again, olive oil, there are times that like, oh, you know, you want that olive oil, you know, taste. Like, I know there's some people that put like olive oil on their ice cream. And I know that there's tons of recipes for like olive oil cakes. I've never made one. They're supposed to be really, really good. Maybe we'll try that. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to work now. Womp womp. One of these days, there will be no corporate job to log on to, and I'll just be able to go live and hang out and cook and bake and rhinestone and edit and DJ and do all the things. I will absolutely see you sooner than later, Neil, because I'll be seeing you on these streets. But yeah, very Italian. Yes, muy italiano. I love you all. Hi, if you haven't seen me before, I'm MeMeCherry. I like to go live and I bake. Sometimes I rhinestone projects. I'm waiting. I have an outfit that's being custom made for my Sabrina costume, and as soon as I get it in my hands, I'm gonna be rhinestoning it. So I'll be working on that very soon. Oh gosh, I need to go to the gym too. Anyways, maybe I'll start going live too when I go to the gym. Although I don't know who wants to hear me huffing and puffing. I'm rambling now. I'm gonna go say bye now. Bye now. Bye.